Welcome to episode 1 of the Omphalos Cafe. Being episode 1, I'm still working my way through some of the technical issues and looking forward to getting on with the program. So what do we do here at the cafe? What do we do? Well, we sip tea. So let me reach over and have a sip of tea and maybe gather my thoughts while I do so. Mostly what we do here is we celebrate life, and we celebrate life's oneness and unity. And actually, I don't know anywhere else to go that does celebrate the oneness and unity of life. And I'm not talking about oneness and unity in a kind of metaphorical New Agey sense. I'm actually talking about a literal oneness and unity. And granted, when I say that, a lot of people are going to raise their eyebrows and go, "Are you crazy? Literal oneness and unity?" I mean, look out upon the world. Read the newspapers, watch the news, even go on YouTube or however you take in the events of the day. How can anybody actually say that there's a oneness and unity to everything that's going on? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? I admit it does sound crazy. And yet, if we were to look at it in a certain sense, if we were to lose everything we've been taught and learned since we were kids, if we were to jettison all that learning and go at it with a simple, open, almost childlike heart, we might catch a glimpse of that oneness and unity. And that's what we do here at the Omphalos Cafe. So why don't you make yourself a cup of tea and find a comfortable place to sit. I'm assuming you're watching this on either a laptop or an iPad or another tablet of some other form, or perhaps even your mobile device, a phone, a Samsung, Apple, whatever it is. So make yourself comfortable. This is a quiet place, a contemplative place, a poetic place. And, you know, if you stick with it, you might come up with some surprises. It's Krishnamurti saying, "Can you listen without thoughts intruding?" Wow, that's big. What do you think of that? Actually, I'm just kidding. Don't think about it. Can we listen to this or read a book as we would listen to music, without thought intruding between ourselves and the experience of the music or the experience of anything at all? And in fact, that's all this is about. When we think, when we have an idea, when we have a thought, it gets between ourselves and the true, full experience of the moment we're living in. And this kind of thing, I mean, it's a billion-dollar industry with the New Age, trying to teach us how to transcend thoughts, trying to get beyond the thoughts that we've been given, all the learning and the teaching that has gone on. Because as Krishnamurti says, you are the world. If you only come to realize that you are a fully functioning part of this whole. But what gets between us and that realization is all the learning that's gone on, all the thoughts that have accumulated over time. And I'll tell you the biggest thought and the biggest obstacle between ourselves and that experience of the oneness of the world, the thought of Jeff. Jeff's my name. It was given to me when I was born, and I've carried it for 50 odd years, a little bit more. The idea of Jeff is all around me. It was given to me, I went through school, Jeff's all I heard. We're taught about Jeff, and we're taught about developing individuality, and the idea of Jeff is everywhere. And it's one of the toughest things to get rid of, the toughest things to transcend. Because if I were able to step back for a moment and look at things as they truly are, Jeff is not a fixed thing. When I look in the mirror, I'm almost always reinforced about the fixity of Jeff, but Jeff is actually flowing. Who I am is actually in flow. In fact, this video right now is being done a week after the first video was being done. Jeff has changed. That which is me has changed in a week. My hair's grown a little longer, if you notice that. But we are stuck with that image of ourselves. And it's the greatest obstacle to us, our understanding of life. Can we transcend ourselves? Can we lose ourselves in order to regain an understanding of life? That's a lot of what goes on here at the cafe. But not only that, because that's everywhere with the New Age movements, religions, yoga, meditation. They're all avenues to learn how to transcend the self, forget yourself, and take full and immediate participation in life. But all that is done on what I call like an individual level. You go to any of these programs or retreats, meditation, you go off to ashrams or whatever, in order to learn personally how potentially to transcend the self. But could we take that kind of transcendence, that understanding and experience of ourselves, and expand it into the world? Can we look out at the whole world with that in mind and realize our oneness with that world? Anyway, that's the kind of thing that goes on here at the cafe. And that's why on my blog at omphaloscafe.com, I frequently end a blog post with the one line. And that one line is crucial to what goes on here. And that line is, life is all there is. We forget that. We are constantly forgetting that. School teaches us otherwise. The thoughts that school impart, that school jam into our heads, confuse us to the fact that life is all there is. Everything around me, every book, every article, table, cup, statue, they are all offshoots of life. They are all the product of life, in a way. Nothing different between this book and, let's say, a shell on the beach. They are all what life has left behind in its passing through. Anyway, getting a little heavy here. Don't mean to get heavy, because that's not what we do it here at the cafe. But I'll just end up with that. The idea, the notion, the dynamic notion that life is all there is. Which is kind of a lead-in to the second episode that I'm going to do. And that episode is going to be, what is life? So, look forward to seeing you again.